Hey Malifaux fans, this is Crazy Carl from the Weird Forums, back with another Malifaux video battle report. This was a 35 Soulstone game against Twisted Meadow from the Weird Forums, also known as Chris. Maybe it's probably the other way around, it's probably the better way to do it, but whatever, we'll just go with that for now. So it was Marcus, played by Chris, and Nicodem, played by me. Very interesting game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Chris is, I think, on his second game. This is his second game with Marcus, so he's doing very, very well with Marcus. I think he's starting to get the hang of it, and he's getting some good practice with Karis in the student conflict as well, which is pretty cool. So I flipped Supply Wagon for my strategy, so I took Nicodem along with Grave Spirit attached to him, 2 Rotten Bells, a Canine Remains, Mortimer, Rafkin, and a Punk Zombie, leaving me with an 8 Soulstone cache. I also took Eye for an Eye and Kill Protege on Taylor, which you'll see soon that he had Taylor. I thought that the Kill Protege wouldn't be too hard to do, and Eye for an Eye, you can summon models if you need to, and you can kill things off if you also need to, because you got Drain Souls, which is really nice. Chris brought Marcus again, which was nice for him. He had Deliver a Message, which Marcus was pretty good at. He took a Jackalope, Karis, Student of Conflict, Taylor, and then 3 Night Terrors to try something new. Chris had a lot of luck with the Slurids, but he wanted to try the Night Terrors just to kind of get the feeling of the full gamut of models that Marcus is able to bring. And Taylor was also kind of an experiment as well. So I had turn 1, I put up a Canine Remains to try and fresh meat onto with Mortimer to get some extra movement out of my crew. Unfortunately, Karis is a meanie and tossed up Flame Walls, which meant I wasn't able to target him with the fresh meat. I could have gone on, like, I guess the Punk Zombie or something, but that wasn't really the path I wanted to go. So I just moved my guys up and created a Corpse Counter instead, which worked out fine. I moved this Rotten Bell into position to try and lure the Student of Conflict out of position so that Chris couldn't just have that safe bunker for Karis and the Student to work from. As it ended up working out, I won initiative, got one lure off, and then failed to cast. I think I cast the other one, but I wasn't able to get a very high card, and Chris was able to cheat on a high card and stop it. So, unfortunate for me. Turn 1, Chris was able to move up his Night Terrors into this tower, which is not easy for me to deal with. I really had nothing to threaten them, and it caused me to make a bit of a misplay later on, as you'll see. Marcus moved around behind the other tower with his Jackalope, as I guess some sort of backup, and also for a defend me trigger if, somebody charged him. And then Taylor's sitting behind the yellow building with Karis getting ready to move around and threaten me next turn, which was not going to be very fun for me. And then you can see Karis setting herself up very well there. She didn't have quite enough movement to get onto the tower, but she would if she needed to next turn, so good for her. So turn 2, I made a bit of a mistake. I summoned a Punk Zombie with Nicodem and put him up on the tower to deal with the Night Terrors with Slice and Dice, because I had a really high mask in my hand. But as it turned out, Night Terrors are pretty good at getting away from things, and he was able to just fly down and pull away and get the Deliver Message off with no problem. So I was already down 4 points, not a good start for the game for me. Karis was able to move up to the Student of Conflict and get some shots off. I don't think she killed anything off, and Taylor just kind of moved up, and I think she was actually in range to hit my Grave Spirit because I misplaced it. So she's able to kill off the Grave Spirit, which was ungood for me. The Jackalope moved up to attack, I think, the Rotten Bell, and I just moved my Punk Zombie in and killed it in one shot, which was pretty cool for me. I forgot they only have 2 wounds, so one attack was good enough. And then Marcus is sitting there to, I guess, threaten that side of the board. I'm not really sure what he was doing at this point. Here you can see the Night Terrors then decided to move and attack Mortimer, which I thought was a bit odd, and Chris later admitted was really not the best thing to do, but he did it anyway. I moved in that Punk Zombie and got off a good Slice and Dice, which did damage to, I think, 2 of them. And I think my dog survived this shot, and Mortimer didn't take anything, which was nice. Or he took some damage, but he has regeneration, so it was a big deal. Got them down really low. I think I got them all down to 1 wound between attacks and stuff like that, so that was really good. Here you can see there was a bunch of things that died. My stuff mostly. The Rotten Bells, I think, both died. Karis moved in and killed off one of them, and then the other one, I think, died to Marcus and the Jackalope. So I was able to get some mindless zombies, which I was going to be able to, which gave me a ton of ammo to summon, which was really nice, and a nice safety net. So Nicodem was in really good shape. Here you can see the layout of the board. Karis was sitting pretty in the open, but not really threatened by anything, because everything I have is behind that little bridge there. And Taylor was in position to do some really big damage to Nicodem, which is not good for me. I won initiative with Nicodem on turn 4, I believe, and was able to paralyze Karis, which was really good. Fired off a Decay into the crowd of models, which was able to bounce off one of my guys and kill off all of the Night Terrors, and then summon more mindless zombies with a Rise to keep myself safe. Taylor got off a few attacks, and I think it caused me to sacrifice a few, but it wasn't a big deal. Rafkin moved in, did some good damage to her, and then with his last AP decided to toss up the Aura to get extra body parts when corpse counters were sacrificed for some reason, as opposed to attacking. So Marcus was able to move back and sacrifice her to Drain Souls, which was not good for me. At some point in here, he did some weird tricks to get Taylor to go before him, but ended up not being really a big deal. So Taylor ended up getting sacrificed to drain souls, and I was unable to get my kill protege. So that was unfortunate for me, and I made a pretty big mistake in that regards. As it was, I ended up basically dominating the center of the board. So Marcus ran away and went to take on the breakthrough. I moved up a Cannon Remains and Mortimer to try and stop him, not even to kill him, just to be in the way. And Marcus was able to dispatch them fairly easily, using up a few Soulstones in the process. Here you can see Nicodem is set up pretty well with his zombies in a nice screen to give myself some safety and to threaten models if need be. All that was really left was Karis and the student, though, which the student was booking it towards my deployment zone to be a significant model if need be for breakthrough, and then Karis ended up taking on Rafkin, but not before she was able to kill off the dead Doxy I had summoned near his deployment zone to take away his breakthrough, take away his holdout, different scheme. So Rafkin was able to finish her off, but not soon enough. So unfortunately, I had to go another turn and waste some more actions. I was a little concerned about getting my eye for an eye at this point because it was the last scheme I had access to, and Chris's were basically, he was just playing to not lose them. Here you can see this was the end of turn 6. I had a punk zombie sitting there to deny the breakthrough, and Marcus was sitting there, and if I won initiative, I could run away and be fine. As it was, not really the case. So we went to turn 7. I moved my dead Doxy up after Chris won initiative. Marcus moved up and was able to kill off the punk zombie, so he was able to get 2 points for his breakthrough. You can see Marcus sitting victoriously in the deployment zone. He got 2 points for his breakthrough. I was able to deny him his holdout, and he got his 4 points for deliver message, so he had 6 points. I was able to get 2 points for my eye for an eye because I used drain souls on Nicodem. So with Nicodem out of the way, and I think I sacrificed something else. I don't know. I think it was it was Rafkin as well. I was able to sacrifice them both, get me an eye for an eye, and then I got my 4 points for Supply Wagon. So we ended Chris's second Marcus game with another 6-6 draw. It was a great game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will hopefully have some more games for you this weekend.